Hi, and welcome to Class Module 11, Marketing and Promotion. First, I want to talk with you all about who raises money at the college athletic department level. We have here the average salaries according to the NAADD, and it shows the differences between schools at the Division I level with and without football programs. And then also you can see Divisions 2 and 3 laid out and giving us a general sense of board, and then some that don't have any statistics because there is no data or those positions just aren't out there for those Divisions 2 and 3 programs. In a survey done by the National Association of Athletic Development and Directors, the NAADD, all 119 institutions that responded, and the resulting data helps us paint the picture of the fundraising landscape. 95 Division I institutions responded, with 63 of those being the football programs, and 15 Division II and 7 Division III. And here's what we found. 54 of those that responded had 1 to 2 full-time development employees. 24 had 4 to 6 employees, and 17 had anywhere between 7 to 10 employees. The average capital campaign was over $50 million. Offices have a formalized process and requirements for personal donor visits, and with the average of at about 18 visits per month and an average number of solicitations of about 58 per year, and then the average dollar goal for each officer is a little over $600,000. In this class, we want to look at marketing and promotions and the functions that are integral to the successful operation of an organization. And our first thing we're going to talk about, what is marketing? So we have two different definitions that I think really give us a good scope of what marketing is. One is the performance of activities that direct the flow of goods and services from producer to user to satisfy the customer and accomplish the organization's objectives. And then another definition, we have the human activity directed at satisfying needs and wants through exchange processes. The essential question is whether sport as a product differs significantly from other goods and services. Sports have certain characteristics that make their product unique, that require an approach that may go beyond what is used in our traditional business marketing. What makes sports different? Well, first, we have an emotional attachment or identification. Attitudes and behavioral patterns indicate that about 95% of American society is affected by sport each day, either through reading, listening, discussing, watching, or participating. Merchandising operations in all major college programs, pro markets, are indicators of this identification process. So each person's perspective is different. It's their own. Next thing we have is the intangibility and subjectivity. Consumers take away nothing from a sporting event but impressions and memories. The wide variety of possible impressions and interpretations of the event pose a challenge for the sports marketer. Bill Veeck, describing baseball, says, "The customer comes out to the park with nothing but the illusion that he is going to have a good time. He leaves with nothing except a memory." Well, because of trades, injuries, weather, momentum, it creates a lack of script, so to speak, all of which interact to guarantee that each game, each event, will be unique, and the outcome cannot be guaranteed. Any team can win. You might see a game that's a no-hitter or a perfect pitched game. Product perishability, though, because of the original sport product, can be sold no later than the day of the event. In fact, it should be sold well before the contest date. There is no market for looking at yesterday's games. If we look at the international attendance numbers, they indicate that sport is popular and that someone must be marketing effectively. Here you can see the numbers for the NFL, cricket, Australian football, baseball, Canadian football. These programs, you can see the attendance numbers over the years. In other words, sport is one of the fastest growing industries in our country and around the world. Because of all of these factors, sports marketing can be defined as the identification of organizational product-related characteristics and the incorporation of these characteristics in the development, presentation, positioning, and delivery of the sports product through promotional and media strategies to the selected consumer target markets. Sports are consumed for a variety of reasons, some of which have little or no relation to the intent of the producer of the product. The sports marketer must be aware of these motivations for consumption of the product. Well, strategic marketing management is an environmental analysis. It's an assessment of the climate that may or may not affect marketing efforts. Whether it be at a college or at a high school, the department, the local community, the alumni, the state or government, the media, the boosters, corporate sponsors, federal government. This list, it leads us to opportunities, either threats and strategic questions, and strategic strengths, weaknesses, problems, constraints, and other questions. And then you can identify the alternate strategies, selecting one, implementing it, and then review and analyze it. Consumer behavior with marketing starts with an analysis of the consumer, the way things are versus the way they wish them to be. To satisfy the needs, they buy goods and services. The sports marketer seeks to maximize consumer satisfaction so that the spectator or participant will demonstrate repeat behavior. They'll come back to the games. We have light, medium, and heavy users. And a knowledge of what motivates or deters a consumer from attending an event or participating is crucial. It's a work of social psychologists to inform these decisions. And we have three factors which appear to influence consumer behavior. 1, environmental variables, 2, social variables, and then 3, cultural variables. Think of the demographics. This is the statistical descriptions or characteristics of the population. And you have to ask, who will be the ultimate consumer? It helps the marketer compose a profile of the sports consumer and identify attractive and declining market opportunities. But it is information gathered from secondary sources, whether it be census, Chamber of Commerce, public utility companies, marketing firms, that allow you to form the profile. Marketing research companies such as Simon's Market Research Bureau or MediaMark Research will conduct personal interviews with subjects on a variety of consumer issues. Most universities' libraries have a result of these studies, and a volume is usually devoted to sport and leisure. Specific information is best gathered through a survey, and those surveys are most effective when we do them either right before or right after an event in the arena. Targeting our market strategy, well, we have a number of things that influence the consumer behavior. And we're going to start with analysis of the consumer. We have mass marketing, which is undifferentiated. Millions were spent marketing a product to a typical or average consumer. And then we have market segmentation. It's tailored marketing strategy that caters to the specific needs of a chosen segment. And then there's the multiple segmentation. Combines the best aspects of mass marketing and segmented marketing approaches. Markets to two or more distinct segments of the market with a specialized plan for each segment. An example might be, if we were to break it down by age groups, maybe sending brochures outlining the differences in each plan or each group. The marketing mix, we have the 4 Ps: price, promotions, place, and positioning. Price, in mainstream, this is a key strategic consideration, sometimes the most important in the mix. In sports, however, price is not given the same strategic importance. In one study of NBA fans, they found that price ranked 5th behind such considerations as opponent, team record, presence of superstars, and effect of the game on league standings. Consumers equate price with value. A product that is deeply discounted may be perceived as having little or no value, maybe a giveaway. Key to successful pricing strategy is to react to market demand and the consumer demand. Price changes affect the consumer and in turn the demand for the product. Dynamic ticket pricing. If the price of a game ticket seems high to you, it's likely the market that is to blame. Sports venues are now pricing tickets in much the same way that secondary markets have done for many years. Based on factors including the quality of the team, the day of the week, weather forecasts, the visiting team, ticket prices are adjusted based on the perceived value of the event. If you live in New York, your ticket prices are likely to be higher due to the popularity of the local sports teams than you would expect maybe in other cities. Promotions. Defined as an activities aimed in influencing consumer purchasing attitudes and behaviors. Promotions have become standard in professional and collegiate sports. The objective of sports promotion efforts is to provide an additional incentive for spectators to attend games, as well as make the experience more enjoyable. Objective is the acquisition and retention of public acceptance of an idea, a product, or even a service. What are the reasons to promote? Well, to let people know about your product. Promotions establishes an image. It can reposition a faltering image. It creates awareness of your product, especially if it's a new product. It alerts customers to sales, and it tells customers where your business is located. The third one we have is place. Yeah, we have the geographic location of the targeted market, the surrounding areas and how far out we go. There's a description that describes them as critical trading radius. It's based on circles of consumer travel time to a sporting facility. And the attractiveness of the place, or the arena, the stadium, the child care availability, bathrooms, etc., all add to that marketing mix. And then our fourth one is positioning. Positioning, it's what you do to a mind of a prospect. You position the product in their minds. The concept is relatively simple. You find a hole, you fill it. Consumers have become immune to the many traditional marketing communications. 7-Up found its niche by outpositioning Coke as the on-cola. They represented an alternative for those who didn't want a cola beverage. Stowe, Vermont, one of the top 10 ski resorts in the world, marketing strategy was only one is in the East Coast. You don't have to go that far. And so they hit that target and that market there. Sports positions in the following ways. You have the most talented athletes in the world. Sporting events are more than activity itself. Maybe you'll have a fireworks display or an appearance of a famous mascot that's a local or even a national celebrity. Concerts after the game. There are going to be three general categories of promotional methods. Advertising. Any non-personal form of paid communications, usually presented in either a newspaper, magazine, TV, radio, signs, direct mailing, sponsorship methods, or endorsement methods. We can do broadcast radio games, game programs, signs, billboards, fence signs, scoreboard signs, scheduling cards, calendars, posters. These are all going to be ways of effectively advertising our product. The second, we have sales promotions. This might be promotional activities other than advertising. Publicity activities that are designed to affect customer attitude or behavior. And then the third is publicity. It's any form of unpaid promotion. Disadvantage is that the company has no control over the event. What are some examples of promotional events? Well, we'll start with the first one. Giveaway items are best promotion. Souvenir giveaways is the most attractive promotion possible for a sports team. It means giving a spectator a tangible item, a cap, bat, hat, jersey, wristband, towels, etc. And you need a media sponsor and a corporate sponsor. And they'll probably see that labeled on whatever item you end up giving away. The media sponsor advertises the giveaway night or the event, and the corporate sponsor essentially pays for or helps to pay for that giveaway item. Policies need to be established, whether it be the tickets must be purchased, giveaways to kids must be accompanied by an adult. If one adult brings multiple children, do they need additional adult tickets to get giveaways, or do they take the approach that every child has a ticket will receive the giveaway? Buyout game. This is a game where a sponsor finances the entire cost of giving away general admission tickets to its customers. Most likely, sponsors are owners of fast food chains or grocery stores or oil company chains, and always use off nights when it's difficult to get a crowd, Mondays or Tuesdays. And the advantages to sponsor are that it can receive a tremendous amount of publicity for a reasonable amount of money. Also, a free ticket to an event makes it apparent that the business cares about its customers. The advantage to sports organizations, it's an opportunity to fill the stadium. Many will come to who would not normally attend these nights and create an interest in the game. If they enjoy themselves, they may return or encourage others to attend. A large crowd will create a greater volume of business in the areas of concessions and souvenirs and program sales and parking, and add money to the coffers you would not normally receive, and it goes into the bank before the game. Weather can't affect it. Only give out tickets 7 days prior to the event, or people were going to forget about it. Consecutive buyout nights are more appealing because customers are more options and choices and more tickets to give away. 2 nights of concessions and parking, etc., and you can see how that all adds up. Also, they have promotional giveaway nights with souvenirs or activity nights with fireworks or Dash for Cash or other fun events that draw crowds and are amusing to the fans. When you're thinking about running these promotional events, you have to make a pitch. It's essentially making a promotional sales presentation to a prospective sponsor. It's usually done in person and includes the cost of each item and maybe multiple options for those items, and a way of distributing the product, promote it and organize it, and then finally it deals with a contract. And then the implementation of the promotion. You make a VIP of sponsoring the company feel like it's appreciated. The distribution strategy, it's the giveaway item, whether it's before or after the game, and whether or not it's everyone or age restrictions, and then sizes come into play. You get all just one size, you're not going to hit the market of the entire spectator base you have. The other concerns are a big draw at one given time and bottlenecking to either the entrances on the way in or the exits on the way out. After you've finished all of that with your promotional events, you want to evaluate. How can you determine if the plan was effective? Promotions are bottom line. People will not buy your product if they don't know it exists. Promotions is a tool you can use to communicate to people about your product. It can establish or reposition your image. And last, promotion alerts the consumer to sales, tells them where the company is located, and informs them where the product can be purchased. That's all I have for today. I'll see you next time.